This is the plaintiff, James Malarkey. He says he paid to get the defendant's car fixed by a mechanic friend of his, and the woman refuses to pay him back. It's a darn shame, because he and her father were war veteran friends. And if he were alive today, he'd be ashamed of his daughter's actions towards him. Bottom line, it's a lot of money. He needs it, and is suing here and now for the $1,465 he's owed. This is the defendant, Margaret Jordan. She says the plaintiff borrowed her car, put 900 miles on it, and broke it to boot. He felt bad, took it to a friend to get it fixed, and then she sold it a few months later. Now he's coming after her for a so-called mechanic bill all this time later? She thinks not, and as sure as can be, the judge will agree. She's accused of letting a friend down.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says he paid to get the defendant's car fixed and she won't pay him, and it hurts all the more because he was a fellow war vet with her father. But she says the plaintiff broke the car in the first place. It's the case of car wars.
Thank you, Douglas. Malarkey, Mr. Malarkey versus Ms. Jordan. You are suing her for $1,465 that you say she owes you for a tow and repairs that you paid for on her car and that she was supposed to pay you back for. Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, Peggy Jordan, I know her as Peggy Jordan. She called me on the phone and told me that her car wasn't properly working, and she had just came back from Volkswagen, and they told her that her car needed a new water pump, and it would cost $1,500. So I said, well, Peggy, let me take a look at the car. I used to own an auto body shop.
How did you two know each other?
I knew it through her father. Her father was a very good friend of mine. He was a World War II veteran. He was a tank commander with General Patton when they were at the Battle of the Bulge. And Joe was a real hero, a great man, honest man and a great man.
Are you a war veteran?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am. I'm a former member of the 82nd Airborne, 77 Special Forces, and I'm a pilot also.
Thank you for your service. So go ahead.
Thank you.
And for your father.
So anyway, she only lives around the block from me. I live on City Island. So I went around the block and I checked the car out, and it did need a water pump. Unbeknownst to me, the water pump is almost buried inside the engine. And in order to get that out, I had to take the grill out, practically had to take the whole front of the car apart. And about a week later, I said, I didn't have the proper tools to get inside where the Germans had hid the. They literally hid the water pump.
Those sneaky Germans. Were you like?
Sneaks said they had nothing on
What
it.
kind of car was this? I'm sorry, VW.
Passat,
Okay.
a Volkswagen Passat. Anyway, so I called this friend of mine up that has an auto body shop, and I told him, I said, listen, I need your help. So he said, send the car over. So I went to Crown Towing, and they towed the car over to his shop.
Okay. And then do you have a receipt from his shop?
Yes, I do, Your
Why
Honor.
did you pay it if this was just a favor you were doing, just hooking her up with a good price or whatever else? Why did you pay her bill?
Well, because she needed the car. She
so
was
then
working.
she can get the car when she pays the bill. I mean, did she approve $1,400 worth of work on it?
Well, it was either that or have nothing.
Yeah, but that's up to her. It's not up to you. That's what I'm kind of not getting. Because she has a very specific answer to this. Why? I'm asking him, why would he be the one who pays the $1,400 at the shop? It doesn't make any sense if it's your bill.
Yes.
And your answer to that is because it's not your bill. Because according to you, it was his fault.
Correct. Your
What
Honor.
does it you say happened to this car?
Okay, one night about 10:30 in the evening, I got a call from him that he was in a predicament where he had to get to Pennsylvania to a funeral, and if it's possible for me to lend my car to him.
When was that?
The exact date, I couldn't tell you.
Do you know when?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. 4 years before Peggy called me and told me that her water pump wasn't working. 4 years
It's not
before.
So he says that was in 2009.
It's not 4 years.
How many years earlier?
I'm going to say 2 years, Your Honor.
Okay, so 2 years after he borrowed your car, you call him and say, my water pump went?
No. So he came, he got the key, he took the car. He went to Pennsylvania. The next evening, about 11 o'clock, he brought me the key back. I said, okay, everything's good, good. Next morning, got up, went to go out, got in the car, had the radio on, and I hear shh, I turned the radio off. The bottom plate of the car was hanging off the car with no gas in it, okay? I lend you a car, you can't even give me a little gas back in the car, and went 900 miles in my car, okay? I called him on the phone. 2 weeks it took him to respond. I said, what did you do to my, don't worry, it's okay, I'll take care of it, what are you getting so excited? I was very excited.
How long did it take him to fix that plate?
9 months.
That's
What did
not
you
true, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on. What did you do? You didn't drive it in 9 months?
I didn't drive it. Maybe I would take it. Now the plate is completely off, okay? No plate at all covering the wires.
Did you ever take it somewhere to have an estimate?
No,
on-
because he was going to fix it, and I was
Yeah,
just...
but after the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth month, that you didn't get
No, he
exasperated?
kept telling me, give me a couple of weeks. What are we going to do?
Well, that ends up getting taken care of. Then the water pump goes.
That's right.
And he takes it then to his he tries to fix it himself.
He can't do it. He has the whole car ripped open, all in pieces in my driveway. And I came out, and I said to him, you got to be kidding me. I can't get to it. The Germans got it down below. He says, you know, those, and, you know, a little excitement with the words. And I said to him, this isn't working. I said, get out of the driveway, get a tow truck.
Go back.
Pardon me.
Okay, it's all right.
Get a tow truck.
You're getting closer and closer to him as you're getting angry and angry. My bailiff is getting nervous. He keeps walking. Go ahead.
I said, get a tow truck and get it out of here, and get a flatbed. Okay, so down the street comes a tow truck. I said, where's the flatbed? I don't want no flatbed. I'm going to pay for it. Okay, go ahead. Up he went. He took it to this fella over near this hospital that we live at. The guy said to him, get that out of here. I don't want no responsibility for that. He took it, and he took it to a guy up the avenue. That guy says, we can't do anything, and he took it over to another...
How do you know these things?
Well, hold on one second. I do want to know
He
how you
took
know
it
that.
to
How do
another-
you know all that?
Because I followed to see where my car was going.
Okay, so does he know you followed him?
You know now, don't you? Anyway, so he took it to someplace else, and I went into the guy, and I said to him, he said, I have a guy going to fix, he says, but can't promise you. I said, really? Okay. So it was going to be a Band-Aid job. Okay. Car was ready. He came to get me. Got in his car, drove over, got in my car. The clock didn't work, the lights didn't work. He says, we'll fix that next. I said, that's it, done. Took the car, sold the
But
car.
who paid for the car?
He did.
And were you present when he paid for the car?
No. So he told me.
Wait, so
I was not
did
present.
he ever say to you, the bill is $1,400?
No, he did not.
Why did you pay for the car if you're not responsible for the
Well,
car?
because she was out of work. She said to me, I have no money. How am I
can't
going to
get to
pay for
work.
this
How
car?
can
I
you
said,
get to
wait a
work?
minute. You call me to take care of your car. I couldn't do it. I brought it on a flatbed, Your Honor. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. It was outside the house.
Tow truck malarkey.
Okay, okay.
It's right there on the bill, Your Honor. Tow truck.
Yeah, it says tow,
It's
a flatbed tow.
Flatbed,
Wasn't
yes,
it
Your
Okay,
Honor.
stop.
No flatbed.
Stop. Go ahead.
It was a flatbed that took the car
You're
away,
a
Your
flatbed.
Honor.
No, I really need you guys to stop talking to each other. All right, so I have a question for you. Why did you pay for the car? You're
Because-
already yelling at each other, not getting along, it's not working out. Why would you, if you're not responsible for it, why are you acting so responsible for it?
Well, because, Your Honor, I tried with good faith to repair the car. Couldn't do it because I didn't have certain wrenches that the Germans have to do the car. I brought it to a friend of mine by flatbed. I had every part marked. I had it in the back seat of the car.
But why would she have to pay for him having to reassemble everything you disassembled? That's got to be part of the 9.5
Well, because
hours.
it was such a nightmare, this car, Your Honor, where the.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, okay, look, there are several things going on here that I'm trying to get a handle on. If he borrows a car 9 months earlier, and a water pump goes 9 months later, is he responsible for it? According to you, yes, it's because of whatever work he did on fixing the grill on the bottom. But did it go just because it was time for it to go because it was a 2006 VW Passat?
I don't know.
And it's now 2015?
I don't
Or
know.
did it go because of something he did? Then you take it to him.
I paid for the water pump, by the way.
What part did you pay of the
Okay.
$1,400? The
I
water
paid-
pump is on this.
I paid for that water pump in cash because every time he'd say to me, I have no cash.
I don't know. Wait, I'm not understanding. I don't understand what
It
you're
was
saying.
temporary. I would pay and he would give me the money back because he was going to pay for everything.
Who told you that?
You did.
Don't
Martin.
talk to. Okay, that's enough. I mean it. You two have to stop.
You're full of malarkey.
Okay, stop. Stop.
Insulting,
Stop.
too.
The next person who does that is walking out.
So is there any way of proving that if there's a 9 months lapse between the time the guy borrowed the car and the car broke, is that any proof that the plaintiff caused the water pump to break?
No, I think the water pump could have broken the next day and it wouldn't have been his fault.
Even one day?
One day.
Is that right? One day and tough luck?
Absolutely. There's too much that could have happened in between.
You buy in one day? That one day later, it's still not the plaintiff's fault?
Yeah, it can't be his fault.
9 months?
It's just too much time.
Ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous.
Ridiculous going inside the courtroom.
Do you have a statement from whoever this friend is who did this work here for $1,400? Do you have a statement from him of what work he did for 9.5 hours? Because he doesn't say anything.
You see, Your Honor, when that 9.5 hours was putting this car back together again.
Okay.
It wasn't
but
just the
whose
water
fault
pump.
is that? That it had to be put back together again. You undertook to do something you didn't have the tools to do, and you should have known that and not undertaken to do it. So why would she ever be responsible for that? If I went to this place and said we need a new water pump, it wouldn't cost me $1,400. What would it cost me?
Well, the pump is they charge $301 for the pump.
It was $65.
Okay, that's it.
I'm sorry.
You did it again. Do
Yes.
me a favor. Have a seat there.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that'll stop it. Go ahead.
He told me it was going to be $301 for the pump and the parts that's necessary. I told him, I said, well, you got to put it all back together.
Right.
again.
Why you're suing her to pay for him putting it all back together as well as for the water pump?
Because
even if you're not responsible for the water pump, how would you not be responsible for putting it all back together when you're the guy who took it apart without the right tools and didn't know what he was doing?
Well, she asked me to take care of the car. I did. I done the best I could.
So my question to you is, what is the reason why she wouldn't pay you if you've been trying to collect payment for 2 years?
I asked her many a times when she'd be passing by my house. I'd see her and I'd say, Peggy, ever going to pay me? Screw you. I went to the guy and he said it would only cost $400. I said, what does the guy look like? I don't have to tell you anything. That bull she gave you about following me and everything. What did she follow me in? What is she, roller skating it?
I don't know.
borrowing cars. You know.
Come on up, Ms. Jordan. Come on up.
Back up. Thank you, ma'am.
Earlier, when he said, well, she was out of work, you blurted out in that fashion that you do.
Yes.
You blurted out, how am I going to get to work? So how were you following him if there wasn't another car?
I had a friend that lent me a car. I borrowed a car.
It lent you a car in a split second? Like,
Yes.
because the guy
Neigh-
was leaving with the truck.
Neighbor
So.
across the street, yes.
Did you ever talk to the guy who repaired the car who said that it was only $400?
Yes.
Who is that guy? Because I have a bill for 14.
Yes. Who he is, I don't know. I didn't get his name. When I went there, he said, he tell me put down number on it on the paper. I said, really? I said, well, how much was it? He's, well, 400, but maybe not 400. He wasn't even sure what the cost was because
Okay,
the
but
cost.
I imagine that Mr. Malarkey has shown you this before. Which
No,
is,
I've never seen that, Your
Never?
Honor. No, Your Honor.
Did you ever show her that?
Yes, I did,
No,
Your
he
Honor, and
did
she
not.
kept the bill. That's how she knew where the place was.
That's not so.
But she never went there.
That's nonsense.
She couldn't describe to me what the guy looked like.
It's only one
I
guy
said, where
there.
is the place at? I don't have to tell you, she said.
That's right,
How
because
did everything get so bad between the two of you?
Because-
Over this
your
stupid
father
bill.
was one of his closest friends, and
No, that's exaggerated, Your Honor. My father was in the vending machine business. He was in the bar business. I'm sure that they had a relationship, but not best friends.
so how was it that the guy calls you and says, "I need a car to go to Pennsylvania"? If you're not close?
I met his wife one day, and she's, oh, you live here now, Peggy? I said, oh, yeah, I live around the corner, and she passed away, God rest her soul. And I'd see him from time to time. Hiya, how are you? Blah, blah, like that. and he called me to use my car. He has 7+ cars, 1 airplane, and a 54-foot yacht. What does that say?
I have no idea, because had you said that earlier, I would find it even stranger that you would loan him your car. Do you have an airplane, a yacht, and 7 cars?
Yes, I have a Cessna 182.
And a 54.
Why did you have to borrow her car if you have 7 cars?
I didn't have those cars at the time, Your Honor. That's why I'm saying it happened.
What happened? Tell me this. I am so curious. Why did you wait 2 years to file the lawsuit?
Well, I'll tell you why, Your Honor. I seen her in the street, and every time she'd say to me, "Screw you." When I said,
How many times does the person have to say that before you go to court, though? 2 years worth of it?
Only because I got a little fed up of her every time we met. Screw you.
So a couple of screw yous are okay, just not that last one?
No. It wasn't that. I guess it was just...
Come on up. All right, folks, here's what I think. Neither one of you are 100% correct. You had a water pump go 9 months, according to you, 4 years, according to you, after the guy borrowed it. How are you going to prove that that had something to do with what he did? And you take a car apart piece by piece, send it over. There's 9.5 hours of labor putting it back together. How is she going to pay for that? You're going to pay $400 for the water pump, and you're going to eat the rest of it as part of what you did to the car. That's my verdict.
The plaintiff has to pay for taking that car apart, and here's the defendant. You're paying for that water pump. Here, step next to me here and tell me what's your feeling on this outcome here?
He's full of malarkey.
Yeah.
And I have to pay now again. I have no car, no water pump, and here we are.
You know who's not here is his old friend, his old war veteran friend, your dad.
My father would have put a bullet in his head.
Right back this way.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so step on in here, Mr. Merlocki, and what's going through your mind here?
Nothing much.
You heard that comment.
I know. I've listened to her before. That's why I'm here in this court today. She's a scam artist. That's what this woman is. She took advantage of my good nature because I know her father, who was a great man, a great fella, World War II veteran, a fella that General Patton had as his lead command tank.
How sad do you think he would be if he saw all this go on?
I think he'd be throwing up. I really do.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, so here's the thing. If you suspect that somebody damaged your property after they borrowed it, it is so important that you speak up immediately, and that I would document it with an email or something. If you wait any period of time, the first thing they're going to say is, it wasn't on me, you did it after they borrowed it.